Good morning. Hit the like button. Say hi in the chat. We are about to begin. Yay! Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Who do we have in the chat? Paul Trow, welcome. Jambi, welcome. Nuno Ferreira, welcome. April's White, welcome. All the regulars, well, some of the regulars in the house today. If there are any more regulars in the house today, then say hello. If there are any new people in the house today, then say hello. Hit the like button. Do all of that. Jez, where you been? Yeah, it's been a few days. Last morning live stream I did was last Thursday, and then Friday was obviously a bit hectic. And then yeah, this week I've been like caught up in house move stuff, and I think like yeah, I'm kind of ill. I'm kind of ill, but I'm persevering. I'm trying to keep going as much as I can. The mic's a bit low. Yeah, basically, so it's one of those things like, oh, mic's too high now. Fuck's sake. Can't get it all right. Yeah, so I think it's like a combination of stuff, right? Like, having house move stuff, so I'm like back and forth. It's weird. It's one of those situations, like I haven't lived in this place for like 2 years, right? But it's finally sold, so now I'm having to move everything out of there, and it's all covered in dust because it's been like 2 years that just shit hasn't moved, so it's all covered in dust. I've just been breathing that in. I think it started like last week over the weekend and going on this week as well, and yeah, I just feel rough. Like yesterday, woke up, had really bad stomachache. It was like painful, couldn't really move much. Now it just feels like I've got a massive cold. And I don't know, one of those things. But still, we carry on going. And I'm going to be out again this afternoon. I've got to go back. There's like 2 more trips I need to do. And then, yeah, finally that will be done, and that'll be a nice weight off my shoulders, and I get some like money into my bank account again to buy the dip. Hopefully it dips once more. And yeah, then that'll be very nice. But enough of that. Enough of me complaining about me being ill. I'm trying. I feel really bad. So like, because I think I just underestimated how busy I'd be, and yeah, like how dusty it would be, and how much like just that, it just clogs me up and just makes me feel like shit. And then yeah, obviously just not feeling great, but anyway, enough. Who else is in here? Patrick, Ragdogs, welcome. Andy Alexander, welcome. Who else? MJ, Prakash, Blue Raincoat. Vitamin C is good. Yeah, I mean, I'm like fully vitamined up this morning, and I have been. I've had my morning Barocca. I've had my morning coffee. I've had my morning supplements, and I did a big gym session last night just to try and like sweat it all out of me. Gym, swim, and sauna. I was like, right, I've just got to get moving because I've been just yeah, improving, but I don't know, I probably sound really bunged up, I probably look really like bunged up, but it's cool. Look at G coming in here. Do you remember when I came into the chat, Doge was around 115? I told you that Doge, and you were mocking me. You were complaining while it was at the top that it was going to. I wasn't complaining that it was at the top. I mean, this was before the last dip, and it's still the same. It's going to $1. It's going to $1. I am unchanged in that Doge thing, and I mean, I've been accumulating Doge since the 2022 bottom. So, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. I don't care. My stream, guys. I give you the analysis. If I disagree with you, I disagree with you. If you disagree with me, you disagree with me. It's all good. Hey, what is Doge doing anyway? I haven't really looked at it. What is Doge doing? Look, it's like, I mean, it was here, and now it's, yeah, it dropped because all of crypto dropped. But I was thinking, we hold this zone of support. If you flip that again, it's cool. We weren't talking about this at the top. We were talking about this when it was like 12 cents, and now it's at 11 cents. It's not a big deal. But actually, this is one of like my favorite charts right now, Doge. How's everybody else doing? I need to get some energy. We want positivity today because I feel rough. So I'm only accepting positivity today. Even if that means, yeah, I need my water as well. Bloom Raincoat says it's going to dip to 47k next. Maybe so. So I'll do the Bitcoin analysis in a minute. Obviously, the last trade I took on Bitcoin was this like beautiful. I just kept it really simple, and we had this really lovely short position a couple of days ago, Monday. It was just really, really nice. We had this consolidation going on, and I was thinking after that, like once you'd done this and we had like impulse down, corrected all, you come back up. Basically, this was just 30-minute, just correcting imbalances, just chopping around, real nice rotations. And then by the time we had this drop to here, everything was essentially cleared up at that stage. And now we find that we've had a little bit of a breakup on this, but I'm not thinking that we've had. Yeah, it's not a major break. We're just, now we've had that like contraction after expansion down, and we just consolidate. And now we're just continuing to play this range here. So I will chart up some more of this, and we'll have a little bit more of a look at what's going on. But yeah, that was a lovely trade. That was really, really nice one. I liked that. It more so the exit, right? The entry, I mean, I could have got in earlier on this. I didn't get in on the first because it was quite a big move up that we were seeing. And then what you see is just this sign of weakness. You have that, at that stage have a nice invalidation. Able to take the short position. It was hovering around here for ages, and this was around the start of the New York Open where we were looking for just a quick spike up, which is what we got. And then we had that real nice drop, and like the exit was almost like to the dollar. It was crazy. So I've just been doing this basically purely based off of highest 30-minute like the 30-minute candles before shifts in that local market structure. So you can see here, marking the top, marking the one before we got a reversal here. Then you rotate up, marking the one before there was a reversal here, marking the one before there was a reversal here. Once again, you could have marked the one before there was a reversal here, and that gave you a bit of a move, but at that stage there was nothing below. Okay, and now we're just seeing this just grind up, and then a nice pop. So yeah, TPO kind of thing, simple auction market theory, rotation between. After you get that expansion, contraction, managed to catch that one really nicely. And I took a full take profit, and I had a couple of questions in the chat in the Discord about why maybe I didn't take like a partial here, and I didn't like hold for any lower. But the reason for that, like when you've got this contraction, I just go full TP in, out, everything, because I'm not expecting any more expansion at that stage. I could really have gone long again here, because you would have had this as a trade and it would have been real simple. You've got 2 pivots as well, so you've got space. You could have kept it there and then gone for range highs, and that would have been a real nice trade. So that now would have played out, because you would have gone range highs. You've cleaned up everything within this range, and you've gone for range highs here, and now we're just sat hovering around again now. So that was not one that I took, but yeah, I'm very much like allocated into spot and holding spot positions, had bought the dip and everything, so decent move. If you look on the 4 hour as well here, is it the 4 hour? No, the daily. We're in a daily gap, yes, and we have 1 hour gap here, but you've got a nice high that's from this, so yeah, it's looking cool. All right, I'm going to stop the music. I'm going to do a very brief Bitcoin update that I can just post, and then we'll get back into looking at the chat and having a bit of a discussion about everything. I think I'm going to keep this fairly brief. Let's make sure we have this open. What are we at? Come on, guys. Come on. Hit the like button. Well, I don't want... You know what? I'm going to do... Agra, let's load that. Let's go 5 minute. Ooh, gap. There you go, it's a bit better. All right. Martinez, I'll come to your question in a minute. Once I've done the... repeat it if I don't get back to it. And then I'll come to it. I just want to get this Bitcoin update out and sorted. Good morning, Owl. Welcome. You know what? I want to remind myself to look at that one later. So music off. And we'll press record, and we'll do a little bit of coin update. Hello traders, welcome to today's video. It is Wednesday the 10th of July 2024. This is your Bitcoin update for the day. It's been a few days since my last update. I've been in the middle of house moving stuff. It's been all covered with dust, and I feel really bunged up. I'm a bit ill. But I'm going to keep going and give you an update for today, because we've had some price action. It's been fairly slow over the past few days anyway. So luckily haven't missed too much on the charts, but nice to get back into things and to see where we are at. So we'll start off here, higher timeframes as always. We're going to, let me just little click on the monthly to begin with. So obviously with the monthly, we did start the month pretty bearish. Okay, we had a pretty big move down. After we had these 4 months of just consolidating within exactly the same range, and then we saw a bit more expansion here. So from a monthly perspective, it would be really interesting to see if there is to be a close back above that like 60,600 area, which takes us back into this higher range. From which we've been consolidating since the beginning of March. I think that would be a really, really bullish sign if we can see, like we're only still fairly early into the month, so a lot can happen before then. But if we can get a close back inside these candles that we'd had previously, I think that would be really quite bullish and we can be expecting a move up. The thing that would then make me more bearish is this wick here would be almost be acceptance outside the range. So we're looking at two quite important levels, like either reclaim the range of that 60,600 or get a close below at that 56,600, which would give us a good idea of how August, September, October, so on is going to be looking. I am expecting that this just probably continues to range for a little bit longer. We're having a fairly low volume rise and just bounce from the big drop that we had last week. But so far, everything looking pretty good. It's been a nice bounce so far, like just with that mean reversion kind of thing, and just settling within a range just underneath the previous range that we had. Going down onto the weekly, then yeah, nice recovery so far this week after the big drop down last week. From a weekly perspective, there's not too much going on here. It's quite messy. You can see all these wicks all over the place. The closes aren't particularly interesting. We did have 4 weeks just continuous, just down, 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 down. The last time we had that, we did get a nice reversal on that 5th week that took us back up towards those range highs. Are we looking at this to be a recovery that takes us back into this space here, where we start to correct and test some of these untapped weekly levels around about that 66,600 and 69,600? Why is everything a 600? All these high time frame levels all around something 600 at the moment. Yeah, going on to the daily, because that's, again, a little bit clearer. We had, now this is something that I spoke about before we had this drop down. So when things were starting to look kind of bad, I did do an update. This would have been, it feels like it's been forever, right? It feels like this has been a lot longer than just last week that we had that really, really bad drop. Because it had so much pain for everybody. It feels like it was a while ago. But yeah, last week when we started to see that weakness on the 4-hour resistance that we had, I did say that if there is to be another drop and we start to close below these previous lows, then that will start to bring in that daily bullish RSI divergence, which is precisely what we're seeing. And the last time we had this was actually up at these highs here, where we had that 3 spikes up in towards the highs, getting divergence. If I mark this, then we had one high. Oh, you won't see this because I'm in the way. There we go. We had one high here on the RSI. Okay, then a lower high with price making a higher high, then a lower high again with price making a higher high again. And actually it was 4, wasn't it? Because you had 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 higher closes before that reversal. And we've never taken out that point since then. So this whole divergence essentially starting from what was this move here and this being the low of that move, we've taken that out. So that RSI divergence, that bearish divergence did play out, but then we've seen continuation of that since then, with it still not being able to break above our current cycle all-time high at 73K. Now, we're getting a similar thing. Okay, so this was after going into overbought, and now we've gone into oversold. So we went into oversold on the daily on Monday, the 24th of June, and we've subsequently seen twice that we've made these lower lows on the daily. And once again, if we bring up the RSI, then we put in the low, we make a higher low on the RSI and then a higher low again. So we're getting that double, triple RSI divergence between this low to this low. And then again, so this week on this low to this low. So divergence here, and that would lead us to believe that if this does play out, then we are aiming for this high, because this is essentially the move, okay, that has the divergence, and we would be looking for this high at 64k to be taken for that to confirm as having played out, basically. And that could lead us back towards those 66 to 67k targets for this overall bounce, and that brings us back into the range, and so on. So I'm looking at this. I think this is really interesting right now. Remember when we had the highs, it did do that 4, but I'd say essentially it was just the three peaks, and that we've seen a very, very similar situation here. Now, if we are to get a bit more, like let's say if this RSI starts to come up and then rotates back down, and we start to build from a bit of a trend here, then there is a possibility that we could see another low being put in. If we are to see something along these lines that comes back up, tests around about that midpoint before coming back down into test what would essentially be RSI support, where we may see the price does this, comes down, makes another low, and RSI kind of follows and does this kind of thing, right? So that's something that's still on my radar if we are going to go a little bit lower. These RSI divergences are actually really nice for getting those higher time frame rotations. Okay, we don't tend to put in highs or lows without it. So if you don't have divergence, it's unlikely that we've got a low, and we didn't have divergence when we put in this low over here. And yeah, but it's a little bit more likely at this stage that we are going to have that. We had a similar situation on previous pivots. Where was it? It was down here. Okay, you had some RSI divergence on whenever we've put in these major lows, it has tended to be accompanied by those divergences. So that's quite nice. Down onto the 4-hour, we still are just maintaining this 4-hour downtrend at this stage. Okay, you can see that every time we have these gaps, all right, these order blocks on this 4-hour, they are continuing to reject. And until that changes, then we must still be looking for more downside, basically. So from this trend, you can see it's just been pretty much like we've had these two expansive moves down. The first one was not able to break out. Okay, you had a bit of an attempt. If you just draw this from these two highs, you had a bit of an attempt, but as soon as you got caught back within a previous range, it created another expansive move down. And essentially now we're back testing that trend line. This is the thing I don't really like so much about trend lines, right? Because you can move them around to fit your bias. But as a general, like, this is the direction we're going in, and the direction quite clearly is down, then we must still be playing that direction until it does like decisively break and start to change the market structure here. Once again, this is all internal. So yes, we made a higher high, okay, but this is not the high that made a new low. This over here is. So similar to what we've got with that divergence, okay, with that being the one that would take out this 64k high, because these are the lows that have the divergence on them. And it's the same thing on the 4-hour, by the way. If I bring up this and we're looking at these three lows, obviously we didn't make a lower low on the daily over here, so that doesn't really count, but you do have divergence between the lows that we put in on the 24th and the lows that we put in on the 5th of July. So that would lead to breaking this, which is going to be the nearest break of this downtrend. So for a high, it needs to be a high that took the low. That being the last low, that's the high that took the low. And anything between here and here is all internal price action, similar to what we saw here. Okay, we had a corrective move up. It did not take the high that took the low, so therefore we get continuation. So we could see a move all the way back up to monthly open. It continues the downtrend, and then we fall once more and continue to build the divergences, right? So something I'm looking at there, it is kind of clear when you start to mark off the gaps and the order blocks that you have, then we can see we are currently just working through, once again, another zone of resistance here where you have this 4-hour gap. All right, unless there's going to be a close back up there, then we are not looking for higher. If there is to be a close, then we can start to target once again little order blocks, little gaps that we have from this move up. The other confluence that I haven't actually covered yet, and I meant to cover right at the beginning, we are back testing the yearly VWAP as resistance after having tested it a couple of times as support. Now, this is fine, right? I don't consider trading below a VWAP to be weakness, because what you so often see within VWAP is you find that price attracts to it. Okay, and once you start to get that consolidation around it, then eventually you find balance within that area, and then you can get that expansive move once again. So we obviously had the VWAP, it's the yearly VWAP, so it started on the 1st of January. You had to bounce into it once, created not a new high, but a really decent bounce off of it. Tried to hold for a second time, but was unable to change that 4-hour market structure down. And now we're just consolidating below VWAP, which actually is okay for me. A lot of you guys will know if we talk about how, like, I myself trade the VWAP and how we trade VWAP within the community, within the crew, then you'll know that consolidation, like if you're on a trending upwards day, like if you've got a big move up on a day, you wouldn't necessarily look for big bounce new highs straight off of the VWAP. You'd look for that consolidation around it, run it below. That's where you want your bids. So if you've got your VWAP just doing this, okay, and price comes down, you want to be placing your bids beneath that VWAP, right, but within a level of tolerance, that being the standard deviation, and then you would be looking for continuation. So as long as we're still as long as this VWAP is still attracting price back into it and it's not expanding away from that VWAP, and we don't find that it starts to cause pressure downwards and starts to change this overall trend, then we can be expecting this to continue to consolidate, and then we do continue with the move, which the trend so far this year has very clearly so far been up. Okay, so that's all looking pretty good as well. So yeah, I guess overall, from what we're looking at, I do believe that this is looking like a pretty decent low that we've put in, but I wouldn't be against the idea of making maybe one more swipe down towards these lows, just to take out the ones that we put in on the 5th, on the 4th to the 5th, and then getting a bit more of a move after that. Like for me, I'm very, 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 very confident, like 99.99999% confident that we're going to be seeing much higher prices through Q3 and Q4. I absolutely do not believe that the bull run is over. I think it's ridiculous to think that, and I don't think there's anything to suggest that that is the case. However, I don't know with as much certainty that this low is going to hold. I would still be open for there being another move down that maybe just yeah, but it's kind of insignificant at this stage. My thoughts on that, I would actually quite like a move down. It gives us more opportunity to accumulate and so on, because I think the next ride is going to be a really, really good one when things start to pick up again. Now, what else do we have to say? Yeah, I've not done too many trades overall this week because, as I say, I've been quite busy moving and not been feeling that well. But we did have a really nice trade that was shared with the crew. I also posted this onto Twitter, so if you're not following over there, make sure you do that. And this was just a nice short position that we took whilst we had this consolidation. So the idea behind that was just looking at 30-minute time frame. Okay, just each time you get a pivot, right? Price was just reacting really nicely from each 30-minute pivot, 30-minute order block. And I took a trade, a short, just before New York Open on Monday, and we had just like perfect exit on this. So I managed to like close out basically to the tick low on here, and then we've seen that move up. So yeah, a really, really nice, just simple day trade, not based off of anything other than just that's the structure that we're playing with. Okay, this is the pivots that we've been making on the 30-minute time frame, and every time that we came into those pivots, it caused a reaction. I believed it would continue to do that because we were looking at price contracting within that zone, and that is precisely what we got. And then there would have been, this is not one that I personally took, but you could very, very easily have flipped long at that stage to be targeting the highs with an invalidation at the lows, being that, okay, we're contracting within this range. You can be using these first highs and lows as your invalidation, and you can be targeting breakout at this stage, because once we'd cleaned up this, right, there was nothing really impulsive left within the chart apart from maybe this high that got a bit of a reaction down. But once you clear through that, it's very, very likely that you're going to come up and take these highs here. And then, of course, as we've subsequently seen afterwards, we did have like these nice little rounded top over here with a nice zone of single prints just above that, which has now been filled. With the order flow kind of stuff, we've been like ETFs have been really decent again, so there's still clear demand for Bitcoin here, which is nice, okay, because obviously a lot of ETF buyers are going to be underwater at this stage, but we're not seeing any panic from that. We're not seeing any panic from spot. It looks overall very, 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 very healthy. The market is very, very healthy, and that's why I'm just very confident that we are going to be seeing new highs, even if we just go slightly lower. It does not matter to me. I'll just continue to trade this. If we go to 52, we go to 52. We're still going to be making new all-time highs before the end of the year. I'm extremely confident about that. With the delta, and if we're looking on Agra here, it's actually like this rise that we're seeing has been really quite nice. Now, it has been a slow grind up. It has been spot demand. All right, we can see that there's just been almost this TWAP effect with just spot continuously buying. We did have that situation with Germany selling a lot of coins. And I think that was when I took that short here, wasn't it? There was that German selling going on, but very much absorbed by the market here and looking very healthy from a spot perspective. What we're getting with these like spiky moves, and again, we're kind of seeing a bit of a spiky move down that's correcting some of the imbalance from the breakout. This is mainly perps led. Okay, it's people that are over leveraged, so longs that are trapped to the highs, short-term, short positions, managing to be profitable. But as long as we're seeing this just general demand from spot, then I do believe that we can continue to float up here and see slightly higher prices. I believe there's still a spot premium. There is. That's old news. Okay, it doesn't matter anymore. And yeah, I don't think there's anything too much more to say with these charts. I'm just going to put that on dark mode and bring you over onto Forex Factory here. A reminder: we do have Powell speaking again today. It's not Tuesday. It says it's Tuesday here, but it's Wednesday, obviously. We do have Powell speaking again today. It didn't cause any change in the markets yesterday. Then tomorrow and Friday are being the two big days for this week, where we do have CPI and PPI. So I will try to go live to cover these. Tomorrow probably being the biggest day, right? Because what happens with CPI usually gets reflected with PPI. It's a less volatile move that we get on that second news. And we do also have, of course, unemployment claims that come out every Thursday. So really interested to see what happens with this news tomorrow. I will be in the middle of house moving stuff again around here, but I'll see what I can do, if I can go live and do all of that kind of stuff. But on that note, there's not too much more for me to say on this particular update. Just check on EXO with the TPOs here. Now, there is an MPOC, almost like this double point of control. So Monday, Tuesday, showing that it had this same POC. Now, this is a volume point of control that was just caused by like, there was a cluster of large orders at this very price. You can see it's actually on the edge of value here, this point of control. So we have come in today and did test that time points of control. We do have a volume point of control here, but I would say when you actually look at spot, the previous day point of control has been cleared up. However, be aware that there is this, there is clear demand and interest at 57,100 because that was that Monday point of control. Then going into Tuesday again here, where you did have, within perpetuals at least on Binance and Bybit, there was some clear interest in transacting at that price. So if there is going to be another move down, I would be looking at that as being a very interesting level in which to look at to take a trade. But we can see recently these time point of controls have been really nice. All right, we had the Monday POC, got back tested, got a bounce. The Tuesday POC, back tested, has seen a bounce. So these MPOCs have been reacting really well so far this week. If we look above, there's nothing up here until all the way up to 64. 300, which once again, bring it all back round, full circle, back to our other chart. If this is to get continuation higher, then that 64,300 really is, that gets the completion of the RSI divergence. It takes you in to get a change of market structure, and that will be the big level that we are looking at. Like, let's say if you want to look for swing shorts again, that really is the target for anyone that's swing long from here. You got to be taking profit if it does come up here. And if you're looking for shorts, once again, I think that would be the zone in which you look for those. Now, I still believe that we chop a little bit more within this range. I think this low could hold for then. But if we are to see like maybe this just continues down, we do this, and then we go to make new all-time highs afterwards, then that would be kind of good. So maybe range, spike highs, spike lows, and then continue on with what we've been doing. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. I'm going to continue on with the stream now. So yeah, have a great day. I'll be back again tomorrow morning with another Bitcoin update, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm so bunged up. I was like trying to talk and breathe at the same time. Hold on. Better. Cleared my sinuses. All right. XAEA12, Elon Musk's son in the house. What RSI indicators you use? I just use stock RSI, just the standard trading view RSI. Nothing special. It's the basic one. I just take off a load of the noise because it's quite a noisy indicator otherwise. For Gary Network, what is that? What do you mean? Is that a token? Is Gary Network Gary a token? What is it? Lawrence, a little off topic. How can you withdraw USDT from OKX wallet to a card if there are only... What? I have no idea what that comment means. Is someone like, is he trying to tell us a seed phrase or something here? Are you just telling us like, you've just given us a bunch of things from your seed phrase? Strange comment. I have no idea what you're talking about, Lawrence. DXC. I'm short now. Are you thinking of doing the same? I mean, this is, yeah, it's too late to be short now. Too late to be short now because, yeah, that would have been a little bit earlier on. Certainly from this morning, I think after taking out the highs, taking out these little range highs that we had from over here, it would have been a really nice place to take a short. I'm not trading today, so I think a long would look good from daily open. You've got a real nice daily open here. We're probably at session VWAP as we speak. Oh no, so we just lost session VWAP, so that's cool. Are we at quarterly VWAP, or is that just not reset properly? Yeah, we flipped. So this being monthly, quarterly VWAP, because we're in a new quarter, a new month, then yeah, flip that potentially back into some support here. It was struggling to break through it recently. Looks interesting. There's not really anything particularly clear with the price action right now. It's just literally like you had that triangle that played out. It broke up to take the highs. You probably think that it may go down and take out the lows again at this stage, have a bit of a fake out. If you lose daily open, then you can run all these stops. It's anyone's guess as to how low that could all go afterwards. We've got news. We've got big news tomorrow and big news on Friday. I'd say we probably just chill around here for the day and see what happens on PPI, CPI tomorrow. Yeah, certainly, I'd be looking at, if I was to take a trade, then I would be more comfortable being short from these highs on Bitcoin. But if you're long from down here, I think that's also pretty chill. I don't think they're going to be threatened too soon. So yeah, there's nothing really clear here. The only thing you can really expect is, okay, that was a bit of a big move up. What has happened every time there's been a big move within this whole range? All right, it's been corrected extremely quickly. So yeah, big move down. Oh, look, there we go. Big move down, big move up. Everything's been corrected very, very quickly. So if this does drop down, holds around daily open, look for a move back towards the highs. Maybe not even necessarily looking to take the highs, but certainly a bounce around there, and just continue to trade this. Then we have tomorrow PPI, and then maybe break down from that point. Keep it pretty simple, but yeah, nothing super clear at this stage. Daily open would be where I'd take along, and then you'd have your invalidation here. So you'd be looking at something along these lines, but you're not going to get much more than a 1R out of that, because I don't necessarily think that we make a new high after that. I think maybe range, you're looking at a trade like this that takes you back up towards this high here. So drop, pop, and then chop. Drop, pop, chop kind of situation, probably. So touch grass until tomorrow, if it's Bitcoin, or be short if you are short from those highs. That could be the best play. Ragdogs, are you still offering the Discord access from last stream? No, but that was like a Friday thing after the drop. But you can still DM me if you want, and maybe something can be done about that. But no, that was just yeah. It was a Friday thing from last week and over the weekend. What was the question that was there earlier on? Yeah, Andy, I'm gonna actually remove that comment anyway for Lawrence because I have no idea what that was and what's going on there. There's been some weird stuff that's been going on recently, like with lots of scammy activity across the whole of crypto, but weird market at the moment. Tau pumping again. Nice. Yeah, we can have a look at some altcoins. Let's put the music back on. Vibes. Not that they're very vibey, but it's just some background music. Othmain, short from the high. Good stuff. Yeah, see how that goes. I mean, spot still looks... The bid still looks fairly good here. I mean, it could very easily continue to float up, but certainly reason to be short. Can you please do analysis of Zen USDT? No, I cannot. I did. Why are people talking about this? Are you the same guy that asked me to look at Zen last time? It's a scam, man. It's an old pump and dump from 2018. I do not understand why people are talking about it. If you're the second person to ask me this, you're probably the same person, but I spoke about this last time. Just no. Unless there's a new Zen that I'm not aware of. But if this is Horizon, I spoke about this on the last stream. I went over this in a lot of detail. This was a Palm Beach research pump and dump from 2018, and it had another run here in 2020. I need an older chart because where's an older chart for this that goes all the way back? I don't even know. But yeah, like this was a massive scam, exit scam. Some guy that used to be in the army or something, and yeah. That's my opinion on it anyway. So that's never coming back. Tau, what's going on with Tau? Yeah, Tau decent, but at resistance. This is what's going on with a lot of stuff right now. You're still trending down, out resistance. If it starts to flip this, then it looks really good. Jon Snow, can't DM me on Twitter because I'm not verified. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, some people comment on one of my things and ask me, just say, give me a DM if you haven't done that already. If you ask me to DM you in the comments and just say, hey, it's Jon Snow from YouTube, DM me, then I'll DM you. Same goes for everyone as well. Like, if you ask me to send a DM, then I can do that. Anybody watching on X as well? Is there anyone over there? Let's have a look. What's going on? Whoops, get rid of those. No one, no comments. We got some viewers. Welcome everybody who's viewing on X. Give us a chat if you're there. Say hello. So what else do we have to discuss? There's been a few alts I've been looking at. So obviously you guys know I'm very bullish on ZRO. So we can have a look at this chart. Made new highs again today. That was very nice. So I'm just holding spot now at this stage. That was like incredible opportunity to get back in. If you've missed the first pump from $2.50 to $4.20, to have got the opportunity to get back in down here again was insane. That was awesome. So that was a real nice opportunity to buy more, and that's precisely what I did. I also took a leverage position there. I'm just holding this. I think this is going to go to $10 soon. Like, I tweeted this when it was down here. I was like, ZRO is going to 10x before Bitcoin makes an all-time high. I think that's probably, I'm bullish on this. So that's looking good. ATH, how's that going? This is the other one that I bought on the dip. Still just in a range here. And then XAI. So there was some interesting development with this. It's been really fudded recently. So this has been like massively fudded. And just crashed really badly. But looked to have maybe put a decent low. But yeah, it's just still just chilling here. Nothing. There's really not a lot going on. It's a floaty low volume bounce that we're seeing across the board on most stuff. Yeah, Blue Raincoat. Since when is supply nearly doubling? FUD. That's exactly right? Because that's not what's happening, and they addressed that. So people were saying that they were going to have like a 97% unlock, which isn't the case. So, yeah. So because there'd been all this like speculation surrounding the unlock, and then they cleared up the unlock, then yeah. But it's still unbearably low float garbage. No, you've got to look. You've got to understand, and we've gone into this a lot of times. Low float doesn't necessarily mean bad. What happens is the fully diluted valuation on a launch and what floats there and when the unlocks are. All right. Almost everything is going to have low float to begin with. It's just standard. Bitcoin did, right? Yeah. The Bitcoin circulating supply when it first launched was very, very low because it needs to be created. All right, it's a matter of, and this is the thing, right? Look, it's down, okay? It's down 83%, right? So you've got to look at the opportunity. I would not, this is like, you got to understand that everything is like that, all right? But at some point, it becomes fair value again, all right? If you're down 83%, like I would not be buying shit that had bad tokenomics when it launches or when it's at a high. But if it has bad tokenomics and it's down 85%, all right, then that's an opportunity, because it doesn't matter anymore. The value has gone back to normal. It's healed itself. Now, this has been a problem that a lot of the market has had, and there's certain stuff that I don't think recovers yet, but there is other stuff that I do. And when you actually look into the research and when the unlocks are on this kind of thing, then actually that's used as a really, really good narrative for another move. So yeah, I've covered this in so much detail. All right, I've covered it in so much detail. You've got to understand that it is a bad thing for anything that launched when there was the greed, and this launched during the greedy part of the market. February, March, April, if you had tokens that launched in February, March, and April, they all need the 80 to 90% corrections. Like every single one of them suffers from the same thing. And that's just the way that the market was back then. All right, there was a bubble. It was the VC bubble. It popped. All right, but afterwards, you've got to also remember, none of this stuff has had a market cycle yet. Investors are no longer profitable on it. So it will, at some stage, once it finds a low, okay, if it's a decent project, that's just the way that the chart will end up looking, okay? And then it has the cycle. So now it's starting from a fair valued base. And this is why you just look at when things launch, look at what the valuation was. So we had something like Tier, which launched in market conditions where there was a lot of FUD going around, and it didn't need a corrective move before it had that cycle higher, okay? Then you look at something like Stark, which launched during greed. It needs a big corrective move before it has a cycle higher. You look at something like ZRO, which has launched in recent conditions when there's been a lot of bad like market conditions. It didn't need a big corrective move before it goes higher. So you just got to understand like what the valuations actually mean, what the supply actually means, and just know the tokenomics for every project is going to be the same. And it just, yeah, to be launching at $1-2 billion FDV in this market now, cool, that's chill. The problem we had was a lot of stuff launching 10 times that, and they just need the 90% correction. Yeah, yeah, ZRO launched below last VC valuations, which is why it's extremely likely to have a markup. And there's also not unlocks. There's no unlocks on, we looked at this on the last stream. There's no unlocks on ZRO for 6 months, maybe even longer. So you can almost guarantee you're just going to absolutely fucking melt up for like at least 6 months. Like it's not that difficult. Jack Ryan went mostly flat a few weeks back. Expected BTC to hit 50 to 52k, but now I'm fearing of missing out, being sidelined. How would you recommend to get back into alts? This is the problem I have. Like trying to time lows and trying to time highs just does not make sense to me. Because if you're like saying, okay, if you'd gone mostly flat here, why would you not place bids under the lows? At the very least, right? Or I don't see that. To me is also greed. Like if you're waiting for lower, I mean, or you wait for strength. We've not yet seen strength. There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. For me, Like if I see a dip that's like this, I buy it. I don't really care. Like I bought it here, I bought it 60k. I honestly don't care that it went to 52 or 54, wherever it went to, 54. I'm completely fine with being 5% underwater. Just does not bother me at all in the slightest. I'll just take a bit more down here and just add a bit more. Now if you don't have like a lot to allocate or something, then just wait for something that is maybe tradable, or just trade. Like you don't need to be catching something that lasts for a whole cycle. Yeah, I mean, it still may go 52 to 50. You could carry on with that. Like I still think that we can take out these lows again. I'm not convinced that that's the low. I am very convinced that if this isn't the low, then we'll just SFP it and then pump. Like I really not expecting it to be like something like that. If we do take the low, ping, go kind of thing. But because then you have this bigger like that. Like I would be. Could still go to 44. Yeah, it could. Could it? Could it go 44? It could. I mean, anything could happen. This is why it's better just to trade, right? And that's the thing. Like, I don't care really about the spot bags that I have. Like, if I see that. Because when you trade, you get your profits in USDT. Would I rather just hold on to dollars, or would I rather buy Bitcoin and buy altcoins when there are dips to have the opportunity? Because what's the worst that can happen is you make $1,000 on a trade, right? Either that $1,000 stays at $1,000 forever, and you withdraw it into your bank account, because you may as well just withdraw it into your bank account if you've made a trade, or you put that $1,000 into Bitcoin, or you put say $500 of that into Bitcoin, and then you have a 20% drawdown on that. It means that the profit you made on that trade temporarily is only $800 instead of $1,000. But then you have the opportunity that maybe it becomes like $2,000, $3,000, like 6 months down the line. So as long as like it's money that's the thing. If it's money you can afford to lose, like for me, I have not put a penny into crypto since 2020. I think I put money into crypto when I got into crypto in 2017. I then got a little bit wrecked in the COVID crash, and then I bought some more just to start an account back up again. I've everything since that point. Every time I've ever bought spots since that point has been on profits that I've made from trading. So it's all free money. Like literally everything I have within crypto is money that I could lose it all, and I'm no worse off than I was before. So therefore, for me, like I'm not fussed about, do I want to time the exact low? Nah. If I go for a 20% drawdown, fine. If I go for an 80% drawdown, that's life. And you just got to go like, do you believe that you're going to be seeing higher prices than where you are right now? And with spot, and you've got to have like some kind of time horizon to that. Do I believe when price was at 60k that at some point within the next 6 months I'm going to be profitable on that? Yes, I do. Therefore, I will buy it there. Do I believe here that at some point within the next 6 months or before the cycle ends? Because when the cycle ends, I'm getting out. I don't really like crypto anymore. That might change, but I think it's all a bit bullshit, and it's starting to piss me off. And I'd probably go more into trading like legacy markets. I don't know. I don't actually know. We'll see. It can easily change if it does start to do something decent. But I'm real pissed off with all the memes and Solana and all of that kind of nonsense and just how scammy it's become. It's like it's got so much worse this cycle. This is the worst cycle by far so far. So I'd be very, very, very happy just to sell everything at the end of the cycle. But I don't believe the cycle's ended. So therefore, I will just buy it, being like, at some point, you're gonna come up here, and then I'll be profitable. But yeah, I'm more in the DCA out mindset. I've been selling quite a lot. This is negative. It's negative for my streams. But yeah, like I don't care. Like I trade it because I like the way that the charts move within crypto, and I think there's a lot of opportunities. But yeah. It's just they're literally just charts that move nicely for me now. I just don't care anymore about what anything is. Oh, this is gonna change the world. Look at this. It's gonna be like the new like next most amazing technology ever. Fuck off. No, it's not. It's all vaporware and scams and memes and just bullshit. Some coins have already topped, but Sol will see new highs. See, I think the opposite to you. I think it's, yeah. I don't know, man. Anyway, it's getting into the point where you could maybe long Solana. But I think this is one of the worst charts out there. Solana ecosystem. I don't know. You got the perfect counter now. I mean, yeah, like we'll see. We'll see. Are you saying that Sol is going to be in a bear market while ETH is going to go to new all-time high? Am I bullish on ETH though? Like, I know... I don't know about ETH either. I just like... I just kind of have this belief now, like everything, no matter what it is, eventually, like if you get, like everything has a cycle. If you can get a second cycle out of it, great. If you can get a third cycle out of it, which is what we're expecting from Ethereum, that's like nothing's had that apart from Bitcoin, has it? So eventually everything trends to zero against Bitcoin. And it's just the speed in which that happens. And we've not yet seen anything, nothing ever has bucked that trend. Nothing. There is nothing that has outperformed Bitcoin ever, right? From a cycle to cycle perspective. I think if you look at like ETH BTC, you look at the 2017 cycle, right? Will this go back that far? There's your 2017 cycle. There's your 2021 cycle. Could Ethereum be the first thing to ever buck that trend and outperform Bitcoin over the course of more than one cycle? Maybe. But nothing's ever done it. So I don't know necessarily that I'm like hyper bullish Ethereum. I think it trades really nicely. Like actually I just deleted some stuff here, but I think the ETH BTC pair trades really nicely because this is what we were looking at for this again a couple of weeks ago when it was just struggling to hold on to this trend. And we've done the same thing here. We were like, okay, look, ETH BTC pair is going to drop. It did. We're saying here, ETH BTC pair is going to drop. It did. I'm very, like, right now, I think we're looking at this being, I think ETH is probably going to be outperforming in the next, like, few days because you've made that higher low again now. So actually, ETH looks really good today. But whether that continues to go on, what happens with the ETFs with Ethereum, I don't know. Are they going to get, is it going to get a lot of demand? An ETH ETF? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced we see huge demand for an Ethereum ETF. You've got to also remember that the Ethereum ecosystem is more than just Ethereum these days. You've got all the staking and restaking and all of that kind of thing. I saw a tweet the other day as well. Someone posted, I think it was like Crypto Rand or something like that. Big account was posting about like how thriving the Ethereum restaking ecosystem is. And it had like 200 different restaking protocols that are available that you can do. And I just was like, is that really necessary? Do you really need an ecosystem where there's 200 places that you can restake your ETH and you get the same APR out of it? It's like banks, right? Do you really need, like, doesn't matter. Yes, okay, it creates maybe a bit of competition, but it's not adding anything to the ecosystem. It's just further diluting what is already there. And then every layer 2 is Ethereum. So you got to think of the valuation of every single Ethereum layer 2 is also kind of adding to the valuation of Ethereum. It's a whole ecosystem now. It's not just Ethereum. So therefore, is the Ethereum price really going to pump that much? I don't know. Because it's everything combined these days, and it's oversaturated, and it's too diluted. So I don't know. It's the weird thing that we've got in this cycle now. There's not like, nothing's just a thing anymore. There's nothing like really groundbreaking and new. Render was cool. Yeah, Render was cool. That did something a bit different. What else is cool and new? I don't know. It's all just rehashing the same shit. Like, oh look, here's another new layer 1. Oh look, here's a new Ether layer 2. Oh look, here's another proof of work token that's going to change the world. It's not. It's not. FET AI. Oh yeah, look, we're going to combine these 3 tokens, FET, Ocean, whatever the other thing was. They weren't even fucking AI tokens 2 years ago. They've just decided to use AI as a buzzword now. No, it's not going to change the world. It's not going to do anything. They're just rebranding to make more money. It's just reality. There's just reality. Just make sure, like, it's great to trade crypto, but Ondo. I'm gonna remove these. FTM to Sonic. Yeah. It's probably gonna do really well. Like, I do think if Solana dies off, FTM has a real good chance of being the next one that just has another cycle and then still will eventually go to 0. And even like Polkadot, man. Like, what's going on with that? It's being massively fudded because they have all of this marketing going on with KOLs, with influencers, but all of them do that. Like, I'd guarantee you, if you look at what Link's marketing budget is for influencers, it's probably way higher than Dot's. So, because the Dot one got exposed and it dumped and it got fudded, I think there's a really good opportunity on the Dot ecosystem, Polkadot ecosystem. Because the stuff that pumps is the stuff that, generally speaking, people think is the biggest pile of shit. Like Solana. What happened? Why is Solana done so well? Because it was the thing that people thought was the worst. They were like, oh, that's just the Sam Bankman-Fried coin. He's like, it was the SBF coin and it's going to go to 0 and it's all dead. And then it does this. So I would not be surprised at all with DOT being the thing that everyone hates now, that's the next one. Or FTM. Everyone calls the guy that did FTM like a scammer nowadays, and he's like, oh, he's created all these projects and they're all going to 0. Yeah, but there's probably a really good opportunity there, isn't it? You got to, like, whatever the consensus is, just do the opposite and you're going to make money. Generally, like, that's all you got to do. If something's consensus, and this is why, like, the consensus still is with Solana that it's going to be making new all-time highs, right?
Just go against it. Ton is becoming the new meme coin hub. Yeah, Ton. The consensus is that Ton's going to be the new Sol. So, no, it's not. It's just not. Anyway, Ondo. Yeah, Ondo looks really, really nice, actually. But again, you've got to wait for a sign of strength from this. Like, either get back within its other range or, yes, drop lower. You've got a nice gap down here. I think 4 hours looking really good. So if it pops into, like, here somewhere, I think that's looking nice, right? That daily gap. So if we do get these new lows, something below, like, 80 cents would be super cool. It's also a POC. I'm taking out this because that, if I draw this to the start over here, then the Prov can jump. Yeah, inevitably is going to be down there. So just get rid of that. Okay. Draw it from when you had this actual move. So yeah, Ondo could be really, really good. If it does something like this, pops down here, that could be a good opportunity for a long for the next leg. Or alternatively, you reclaim this and then you're using this as the low and then higher, because a lot, like, it could, if Bitcoin low is in and we see that there's strength from the whole market, you could find that stuff gets front run quite easily, and we go higher. But I still think we've got time for a little bit lower on this stuff. Yeah, Ondo's, that's a really nice chart. I like that. Who was that? Who asked for Ondo? Shiva. And just, where would you go with this? Thing is, I don't know how liquid that low is, but target like somewhere like that. Do you have confluence? $180, $2. Any highs? Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up now. Because I gotta go now to the house and pack up some more stuff. Yeah. Unfee USDT. I'll just have a quick look at that. Glyph. So this is what's happening here. Like, basically, I moved out of this place 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, and it's just taken 2 years to sell. So now everything's just been like all my old shit, or like my old music equipment and everything like that I no longer have, because there was a recording studio in the house. I'm just moving all of that out and putting it into storage and selling a bunch of it. And then in September, I'm going to be moving again, moving out of the UK. So I'm going to be going to Bali for a bit. I'm just going to like live in Airbnbs all over the world for like a year or so. Have my laptop, have a suitcase, work, travel. That's the idea. So in September, I'm going to go to Bali. Then I'm in Singapore. Then I'm going to do Thailand probably for the winter. And then next spring, I'm going to do Japan, Korea, China. Then see what happens, really. And I'm going to, like, it's going to be really cool. I'm quite excited about it because I'm going to, like, document Philippines as well. Yeah, that's on my list. Yeah, a load of places. I'm just going to see where I go, see where I end up. And I'll start doing, like, I'll still be here, still be streaming, because I've got that really, really cool, like, nice compact streaming setup that I'll be taking everywhere with me. But it also means, like, it'll be nice because I am, like, I think it's kind of obvious from these streams. I'm kind of bored right now. Like being sat, it was okay for like a year or so. It was kind of nice, but the life I had before crypto, it took me around the world. Like I was working in music, it took me around the world. I was always doing stuff. Like I am not the kind of guy that can just sit and work from home and live in the same place and be happy. So for me, like the only reason I'm here and I haven't been traveling sooner is because I've been waiting for this place to sell, because I've still got ties here. But once that's done, and now that the house is finally sold, then it means that I just have the freedom to do what I want again. And I think that in general is just like, that's much more what I want to be doing. So I think the actual content's going to be much better, because I'm doing like a lot of the time, I'm just like why am I still like here in London, and it's crazy expensive, it's boring, I'm bored here, the weather's shit, the country's shit, most of the people are shit. So I'm just gonna go live by a beach and live the good life, and I'll be documenting all of that as well. And we'll see what happens. It could be a massive disaster. I might hate it, and I might be like, oh my god, I don't like living out of a suitcase, I need my home comforts. But I really don't think that's me. Like, I know for myself, like I can very easily live my whole life like with a few, like I mean I literally live in just t-shirts and tracky bottoms. I don't care. So if I have a beach or a pool next to me and a laptop that I can work from, I think that's the dream. So that's what I will be doing from September onwards. So I'm quite excited by that. Yeah, I need like, yeah, think about it. So it is primitive. I think that's it. Like, just get back to like what's important, and like just having like the simple things. Like if I can wake up and go for a walk in a nice country with nice weather on a beach, or like in a jungle or something cool like that, then that's sick, right? That's so cool. I'm done with city life. I still like, I'll still do things like, I'm still going to spend some time in Singapore. I'm still going to spend some time in Bangkok, in Tokyo, in Seoul, probably Hong Kong for a little bit. Yeah. Mission will be to get all the visas of the world. Yeah. No, my mission is it's not. Welcome to Vietnam. Yeah, I'll do Vietnam, I think, as well. I've done Vietnam before, but just as a holiday. Me and my wife did traveling for 14 months, 2023 to 2023. South America, Asia, and Australia, New Zealand. That's the thing for me. Like, I think so. I'm gonna start off Southeast Asia, because I think that's and Southeast Asia and the Far East, because Southeast Asia, Far East is so well connected. I think like there's a very big like digital nomad kind of thing going on over there. It's easy to get around. It's crazy, right? I was looking at flights over there, and if I start off in Bali, it's like $35 to get a flight to Singapore. And like an Airbnb there, I can live in a villa for like a massive villa with a big pool on the beach for like a third of the price that I pay for an apartment here in London. So that like quality of living, cost of living, everything, connectivity, good internet connections, most places in Asia from what I've heard. I think that's an important thing, and I'll start working. And then once I've done that, then I'd like to do South America next year. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm going to document it and do content around that and stuff as well. A little bit of a change in stuff, a change of scenery. And yeah, I think overall I'll just be happier doing that kind of thing, because like I say, a lot of these streams end up with like, and I don't mean to do it, but it's because I'm just kind of bored, sat around trading. It's not what I want to do if I'm just stuck in one place. Like, for the head space, it's not a good thing for me. So I'll trade better if I'm traveling, because it means I have other stuff to do. It means I'll have balance in life again. Glyph, yes, of course. Like anyone who's in the crew, or just anyone in general, like always feel free to DM me, like anytime you like. I'm pretty bad with DMs in general. I'm not very good at checking them. But if I don't check them, just keep, like, literally just be persistent. Sometimes, like, sometimes I'll respond straight away, but then because I'm like massively ADHD, and if like one thing distracts me, then I'll completely forget, and I won't ever, like, I'll be like, oh, it's too late, I can't respond to it now because it's been like 12 hours and they'll think I'm bad, and then I never get around to it. Like, I either respond immediately or never to people. So if I don't respond quickly, just nudge me the following day and the day after that, or whatever it is. And that's just in general for anyone here. Everyone knows that that's like what I'm like. I'm just a bit weird like that. Anyway, cool. I'm gonna wrap it up. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Come on, England tonight. Hopefully, I'll be in a good mood tomorrow. So come on, England. Sorry for anyone who's Dutch, but England. Yes, let's go. See you later, guys.